How's it going, everyone? This is Childhood DVD Fan here. It's a little late at night right now, so I have to kind of keep my voice down a tiny bit. I finally am doing a video that I have long been wanting to do on the channel. I just haven't gotten around to it until right now. Yeah, right now. Right now it is. Okay. So I will finally be doing one of my most anticipated videos, at least for me personally. It's late at night. I'm pretty tired. I don't want to make this too long a video. I have no idea how long or how short this is going to be. So have your popcorn ready because it might take a while, or hopefully you'll get a sip of water in. Anyways, if you see a little cord, it's because of my phone charger or a flash or whatever. But anyways, I wanted to discuss, since, it's my night off, something that some of you may not even know. Because back in 2003, when Drake and Josh was, when Drake Bell and Josh Peck were done with the Amanda Show, Dan Schneider gave the two a call, and, they worked out their own show, which obviously became Drake and Josh, which in my opinion is my favorite live-action Nickelodeon show of all time, and the best one that ever lived. Their chemistry was completely unmatched. Nobody else even comes close except maybe Keenan and Kel. They're probably the closest people to Drake and Josh, in my opinion. But what you guys may not know is that Drake and Josh almost wasn't. And you are looking at one individual who was almost responsible for us not getting Drake and Josh. And that happens to be Romeo Miller. Now, you're probably wondering, what the hell are you talking about? Well, I've done my research, and it turns out that Drake and Josh almost wasn't to be. So let me explain to you guys the story. Back in 2002, the Amanda Show ended. Josh Peck came on the Amanda Show in season 2. And him and Drake were basically a duo on the Amanda Show for the final 2 seasons, seasons 2 and 3. Josh Peck was not on the Amanda Show until season 2, so he was not there season 1, but Drake was there for, I'm pretty sure, every single episode of the Amanda Show. Because the original person was a girl by the name of Raquel Lee, but Josh Peck replaced her, and thank God. No offense to Raquel Lee, but thank God, she got replaced, because then we got these two awesome dudes right here. Now, if you guys remember, Drake and Josh had that scene where in the script, it just said that Drake and Josh are fighting over a shrimp. There was no dialogue. There was no direct, notion as to what they were, to say or whatever. It was just kind of, they fight over a shrimp, so they had to improvise, which means make up whatever was on their mind and on the fly at the time, and it turned out to be really well. And someone leaned into Dan Schneider and said, these two guys are your next show. You know that you're looking at your next show right here. So Dan Schneider and the people, who worked behind the scenes on the Amanda Show were pretty convinced, and were pretty, certain that Drake and Josh was going to be a television show. And Drake and Josh, thought, that their content was funny, and they thought that the network was going to, like it, and they were going to pick it up. Well, it ended up not being that so easy, because in 2002, Drake and Josh did a pilot with a man who played the role of Walter Nichols by the name of Stephen Furst. This was way before Jonathan Goldstein ended up being the father of the show. And the set was different, and everything was different. The clothes were different, everything was different, because this was about a year before they had to reshoot another pilot when Jonathan Goldstein came in as Walter Nichols, so they had to reshoot the original pilot. And, Miranda Cosgrove was there. I didn't know if Nancy Sullivan was there for the unaired pilot. I think she was, actually. I take that back. She was. Everybody of the main cast was there except for Jonathan Goldstein because they recast it because Stephen First couldn't do Drake and Josh, and they thought that there needed to be someone else who fit the role better. And once again, thank God Stephen First did not end up getting the job. He is dead, rest in peace, but that wasn't meant for him. So they kind of had this pilot, and I'm pretty sure that they either filmed that pilot right after the Amanda Show filming had ended or during the end of the final season. One of the two. I'm not too sure which one. So, they were all convinced that the network was going to, pick up Drake and Josh, and that was going to be the next series and whatever. Well, for some reason, I don't know the exact reason, but the network, Nickelodeon, they had a different idea. They were more interested in Romeo. They were more interested in Romeo Miller. They were more interested in doing the Romeo Show at the time, back in 2003, than they did with Drake and Josh. Now, I don't know why the network could not see the writing on the wall. I mean, these two, even their chemistry on the Amanda Show, I mean, you would be blind to see that these two were going to be wildly successful, and they ended up being mega stars when they got their own show, which is kind of funny that Nickelodeon didn't see it, but for some reason, the higher-ups at Nickelodeon didn't see it. I don't know what the reason for that is, but they didn't see it. But they thought that Romeo Miller and the Romeo Show had a much brighter future than Drake and Josh. So, to clear up something, a lot of Drake and Josh fans wonder, why was season 1 only 6 episodes long? A lot of people wonder why season 1 was only 6 episodes long. Well, here's the answer to that. Nickelodeon gave season 1 of Drake and Josh what's called a test run. Now, what that means is that they have 6 episodes to do. If they don't do well in the ratings for those 6 episodes, they're going to cancel Drake and Josh. They're going to cancel the season and the show if it didn't do well in the ratings, because Nickelodeon did not have a lot of faith, for whatever reason, in Drake and Josh, the show at the time, before obviously it blew up. And Romeo was given a lot of episodes in season 1. I'm not too sure how many, but I know that prior to Drake and Josh being on television on January 11, 2004, 10 episodes of season 1 of Romeo had already been on the network. So the network really was putting their stock initially into Romeo. That was the show they were going with. Well, guess what? The ratings did tremendous. Drake and Josh was instantly popular. And it was so popular that they ordered a season 2. Nickelodeon ordered a season 2 of Drake and Josh, which ended up being 14 episodes, which means, all right, we're still giving you a tiny bit of a test run, but we see that we got something going on here. And the rest is history. Drake and Josh ended up doing like 56 episodes and 2 movies. And I believe that Romeo had a few more episodes that are right around the same amount as Drake and Josh. But if we're even comparing who ended up winning the war between the Romeo Show and Drake and Josh, it's not even a contest. I mean, respect to Romeo and everything that the show did. I've seen a few episodes, and I don't really enjoy it necessarily. I don't think it's bad, but it's definitely, maybe I would have liked it maybe if I watched it as a kid more, but it's kind of a little tough to sit through now. But obviously Drake and Josh was, and Zoe 101 and Ned's Declassified, and all these shows were not really on Fabulous, but those shows were my childhood, man. And because Drake and Josh did so well in the ratings, because obviously, I mean, like I said, everybody knew that these two had magic except for the network, and the viewers saw that and they grew attached to these characters in just 6 episodes. And if Drake and Josh did not do well in the ratings, if the ratings in season 1 in Nickelodeon were really, really bad, if nobody watched it, the show probably would have never survived and would have never gotten a season 2. Now, if you don't believe me when I say that, Drake and Josh thought that they had a great, idea for a show, and they thought, that it was funny, and they thought it would be, a great show. If you don't believe me that they didn't think that, and that Nickelodeon really shut the door on them for a very long time, but then finally gave in, you can go watch a video on Josh Peck, who played Josh Nichols, on his YouTube channel, where it's Drake and Josh when they reunite to react to some of their cringiest moments together on television. And they say, and Josh says in that video, isn't it weird, how long it took, for, our show to basically, get on the air and, become a show. And Drake was like, that was so weird how all that took place. So the proof is there. I mean, Nickelodeon did not have a lot of faith for whatever reason, like probably because they were smoking some like Jamaican, like, bong that like blew all the, executives like, heads into completely out of touch reality. But thankfully the audience was able to hit them over the head and make them get back in touch and realize that, hey, they got something big here with Drake and Josh. So that's really how Drake and Josh almost didn't become a show, how it really could have only been 6 episodes, and then it could have been canceled, and that could have been it. Can you imagine if we only got season 1 of Drake and Josh? It's because the network at the time had more faith in Romeo Miller and the Romeo show than they did with Drake and Josh. And like I said, I don't know that reason. I don't know why. And even thinking, like, putting my biased opinion aside of, Drake and Josh being the best live action show of all time, and, obviously my childhood, even if that isn't the case, whatever, how you couldn't see these two blowing up on their own show and, expanding Nickelodeon even further just dumbfounds me. It really dumbfounds me how they did not see that. And thankfully, because you, the audience, us, the audience, watched season 1 of Drake and Josh, and the network was happy with what they ended up getting for the ratings, they gave the green light to give 14 episodes in season 2, and obviously it took off from there, and Romeo never stood a chance once Drake and Josh really took off. I mean, Romeo may have been an underrated show, whatever, but I'm telling you, man, it didn't even come close in the ratings. It wasn't even close to Drake and Josh. They blew the Romeo show out of the water in the ratings. And that's how Drake and Josh almost wasn't. And I think that's going to be the title of the video. So I hope you guys learned a little lesson today. I hope everything made sense. I tried to make it as much, whatever. Like I said, it's late at night. I'm trying my best to have this all make sense. But I don't know, maybe I'm not. I'm trying my best here. Anyways, this has been Childhood DVD Fan. So long, everyone. Oh, and I'll just say this before I go. I'm so stupid. Obviously, I had the demonstration here of Romeo and Drake and Josh on the same cover here for this video, but I also brought out the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice DVD because it has Drake and Josh in a Romeo episode. And these 2 DVDs right here, 1 Romeo episode per DVD, were the only home media releases that were ever done mainstream of the Romeo show. And Drake and Josh, even though they have a very funky home media release, that should just tell you right there who really won the war. Anyways, this has been Childhood the DVD Fan. So long, everyone.